Good evening, everyone. My name is Slicker, and tonight I'm sorting through some thoughts, as per usual. I'm sitting with this song again, along with a few other things, too. There we go. Now, in trying to sort through things earlier today, I ended up coming to a realization. I've gotten so trauma poisoned that I'm afraid of acknowledging the flaws of the people I like and or am interested in because I'm scared of them self-destructing and either hurting themselves in the process or hurting me or others around them in the process, which isn't good because that means I really did hand over a I really did try pulling off one less gamble back before the dense door finally blocked me. I knew they need to speak of their experience, to be there for themselves, and I'm never going to regret that I told them to do so. At the same time, it hurt. It hurt like hell to know that they thought I was that much of a fucking liar. It hurt like hell to hear what they were scared of, even if I didn't do it. To know I left enough accidental pressure unintentionally through all my other previous mistakes and with that last mistake on top to set off that fear reaction. It hurt. And sure, I had prepared myself for never seeing them again and whatnot. I was truly ready to walk away and just try to just focus on enjoying my life with what I still had and the friends and people I did know and trust. But to know I gave them the power to hurt me that deeply, especially with how I got abandoned by the social group, it scares me. It scares the hell out of me. I gave that much influence and power to someone who, though they were trying their best to fight for me, didn't understand me or wasn't available to clearly communicate. And let's be real, I don't know what they were dealing with back then. I don't know how busy they were or not whatnot. I only know my own perspective. And that's all this is, a summary of my own damn perspective for what I can cobble together off of what little I know. I didn't put in my efforts just to win their heart. I put in those efforts because I did not want to get abandoned by a social group that felt like home. Because I knew that would hurt me deeply, near irreversibly. I knew I'd survive it if it happened, but fucking doesn't mean I wanted it to happen. It was what I was most scared of. I didn't walk away because I wanted to. I walked away and told them to block me because I realized I was not helping them live their life. I wasn't someone that they felt supported by. I'm poisonous to them in the same way they're poisonous to me. Not because we intend to hurt each other, but because the fundamental dynamics, perspectives, and ways of approaching life are different down to nearly the root level. I don't know their experience through life. I don't know who they chose to be in situations where I didn't get to see. I know who I chose to be. That's all I have to go off of. It wasn't, on a Noel's end, it wasn't about winning or stealing their heart. It was about ensuring the safety of both myself and the other person as quickly and efficiently as possible, even if it wasn't necessarily done tactfully or the right way. That was exactly because for Trace, it was basically about seeing if someone could be trusted with our heart. Because that mechanism only sets off around people who we think have the potential of understanding us. And when it does, Trace, along with like the rest of us in here, immediately fall hard for that person. I'm scared of my own feelings in regards to that dance door, not because I want to hurt them, but because my own feelings would overwhelm them to the point where they wouldn't be able to tell me if I'm hurting them. I make it a goal with every relationship I have, every relationship and interest I consider, to acknowledge other people's flaws and ask myself what I would actually bring to the relationship. Because I'm used to running on little to nothing. Chronically emotionally neglected out of an inability to tactfully, appropriately, and clearly identify and put into words my own desires. my own needs, or where I'm at emotionally. I've come a long way from where I started, but that doesn't mean I started with all of these skills. It's one of the reasons why I look for people who have conviction. Because I am addicted to jumping into the abyss, into trying to study it and learn about it and try to disentangle people from the threads of its functions. My own pride may fuel it, but so does my empathy. I don't know if I'm ever going to change in that regard. But I don't need someone who keeps quiet and tells me everything's okay when it's not. I need someone who's capable of smacking me over the head and pulling me back from my own dumb decisions sometimes. Not to the point where they have their conviction overruling mine, but to where they at least check to make sure that I've thought something through. You smile and I get sunburned. And that's another reason why I figured they wouldn't want a relationship with us, why I didn't want to let them end up entangled. Because they have their own life and goals to strive towards. To entangle them within our own desires to the point where they can't escape would not just be inconsiderate and rude, but it would be absolutely fucking cruel. Communication and respect are fundamental aspects of a relationship, regardless of if it's romantic or not. And it doesn't matter if I can find information out about them elsewhere. It fucking wouldn't matter because the point isn't the information. The point is whether or not they trusted me enough to tell me about that stuff themselves. That's the reason why stalking only creates fucking stress for anyone involved. Because the person who is obsessed with trying to prove themselves to the other person fails to recognize a fundamental level of respect and boundaries. It's why it's never an option. It doesn't occur to me to go out and look on the internet exactly because that's not respect. That's just an attempt at control. You would rather what you have than the unknown. I poison myself, but you're enjoying the show. Oh, 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 oh. I am not healthy for that person. Without some stable sense of safety and communication for both people. And that is the reason why I told them to block me. Not because I didn't want to be around them, but because I wasn't giving benefit to their life or getting my own needs met in trying to stick around. Denstork is more capable than they think. Just like many of the other people I've gained interest in over time. But regardless of how much my interest is, I don't get to decide their lives for them. Never did. They deserve to live their own life. And that is the only fragment of truth and empathy that survived everything. That is the only fragment of truth and empathy that outlasted all of the pain. And I don't know where to go from here. But I know I'm not going to return to the life of pretend. It wasn't worth it.